Hey guys, welcome back. Today's class is going to focus on getting you towards a straddle press handstand. Now, this advanced movement requires a lot of different things, requires full flexion in the hips, folding forward at the hips, full flexion of the arms up by the ears, as well as external, meaning turning the toes out, and abduction in the hips. So there's a lot going on. We're going to focus first on the hips, and then we're going to do some drills to practice using the wall and blocks. So the first thing I like to do to warm up is just a wide leg forward fold. So taking the feet nice and wide, you can think as wide as your hands when they're outstretched, and you're going to hinge at your hips and take your hands to the floor. If you can get your hands to the floor with your legs straight, then you can definitely start to progress towards your straddle handstand. So if it's hard to get your hands to the floor, of course, bend your knees. Otherwise, legs are straight. And you might lift your heels a couple times and really push into the ground and coming onto the ball of your foot. So leaning forward, leaning into the fingers, gripping the knuckles, lifting your heels. Great. And then we even can stretch the arms a little bit more forward for a little bit of extension in the spine. And then exhale, walk the hands backwards and take the head down for more flexion in the spine. Good. And then we're going to turn the toes out and the heels are in, and we're going to stretch the inner thighs. So again, we are externally rotating the legs and taking the legs apart. So we just want to release the inner groin, inner thighs. So you can take one hand to the left inner thigh and just do a little twist to the right. And then switch, take the right hand to the right inner thigh and look to the left. Beautiful. We're going to come all the way down to sit, and we're going to do a seated wide leg forward bend. So legs are wide. You want to be able to sit so that your head is over your pelvis. So if you're really rounded, try to maybe put the hands behind you and get on the fronts of your sit bones. You could also sit up on a blanket. But if you can sit here in a wide leg seat, then you can move forward here. Take your arms up by your ears. We're going to hinge at the hips, press the legs down, and slowly take the forehead and the hands to the ground. And then you inhale to come back up. And we're keeping the arms by the ears because this is what we're doing in a actual press handstand, right? The shoulders are not relaxed. They're active in full flexion. And that actually causes more extension in the spine as well. So keeping the arms by the ears, we'll do two more of these. Slowly, with lots of control, see if you can get your hands and forehead to the ground. Inhale to come back up. Keeping the legs wide. One more. Exhale, hinging at your hips. Nice and slow. Forehead down, head down. And inhale back up. Good. Now we're going to lift the legs. So we are dragging the legs towards our hands a little bit in press handstand. So we're going to play with lifting one leg at a time. Hands are grounded on the floor, lifting and lowering. And this is more challenging if you lean towards the leg. As you can see, I can barely get my leg off the ground the more I fold. So you're working your way up towards that compression in the front of the body. So do one more round, lifting the leg. Beautiful. Let's take a Baddha Konasana, so feet together, knees wide, or a butterfly shape. Lift and lower your knees a couple times. You can hold your big toes. Breathe in, lift your chest, and as you exhale, just take your chest any amount forward towards your toes. Big breath in, nice and long, and exhale. Good. So we warmed up the hips a little bit, and we're going to move into some drills at the wall. So to start, we're going to basically do a wide leg forward fold at the wall, and we're going to add on this abduction of the legs. So take your butt all the way to your wall space. Put your hands on the floor. Hands are shoulder width. And you're going to walk back until you lift your heels up and you're on the balls of your feet. From here, you're going to press into your hands, push your butt onto the wall, and see if you can lift your legs out to the side. Beautiful. If that's too much, you could always do one leg at a time, and you can build up. Otherwise, let's do 2 more rounds. Press into your hands, keep your elbows squeezing in, your butt pushes on the wall, your legs go out, and release. Again, push, legs out, release. Let's just do one more. Beautiful. Okay, so now you feel that the outer hips are really working, right? So another thing that we have to do as we take the legs out is keep stability in the shoulders and in the arms. So this drill is one of my favorites to work on that. So you're going to take one leg to the wall and your foot's going to be as high as your hip. Turn both toes out the same direction. And then you're going to take your hands to the floor in front of your foot. Your hands are shoulder width. Don't let your elbows go out. Keep the elbows wrapping in and strong. Now, you might have to start with a hop, but we're going to try not to hop. So eventually, you're going to lean into your hands, keep that right foot where it is, and you're going to slowly lift the left heel and take the foot up to the sky and back down. Let's do 2 more. Lean into your hands. Good. Elbows in. Don't let that right foot slide. That's the work. 1 more. Press and lift. Good. Cool. Let's do the other side. Now that you know what we're doing, so again, measure the length of your leg away from the wall. The foot should be almost as high as the hip, I would say. Maybe if you can get it as high as the hip, go for that. And then, so your legs are basically in this wide shape. And this is training us to stay stable as we float this bottom leg, which is what we're doing in press. We're floating the legs, yeah? So again, keeping the hands shoulder width, keeping the elbows firm, press into your hands, keep that left foot where it is on the wall, and lift and lower. 2 more. Press, lift, elbows are straight, and lower. Last one, press, lean, float. Beautiful. Okay, so last drill is really going to be working on press handstand, but we're going to use blocks. So putting blocks underneath the feet is just going to give us a little bit of assistance. It gives you that little bit of lift in the hips and getting the hips over the wrist. And yeah, so take your bricks a little bit wider. So you're basically doing a wide leg forward fold. Feet on bricks, you're hinging at your hips. Get your hands down to the floor. You can always soften your knees. You're going to lean into your hands and take your toes and feet out and up. So lean into the hands, take the legs up. Lean into the hands, take your legs up. Beautiful. Let's do a few more here. You might have to bend your knees. Otherwise, start working with straight legs as soon as you can. You're going to do the same thing as before. We're going to lean into the hands. The legs are going to go out and up. Try not to hop. That's the point of using the blocks, is that instead of jumping, we're leaning and we're widening the feet. And, if you have to start jumping today, that's fine. That's just where you're progressing to, right? So, hands on the ground, leaning and taking the legs out and up. Good. So, maybe do two more of those. You're leaning into your hands. You can start by lifting the heels, and then the toes go out and up. And do a few rounds of those. Let me know how it goes. This practice is meant to be done over and over again. So, just giving you some ideas for drills and ways to warm up and progress towards your straddle press handstand. Let me know how it goes, and I'll see you next time.